What is the number one skill in the world? Selling. How do you get anyone to do anything? Selling. What does it take to get your ideas to investors, to get investment, to build your dream business? It takes selling. If you haven't got the theme of the video today by now, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about selling today. Why do you think that selling, the art of selling, the keys to getting anyone to say yes every single time, why do you think this is not taught at schools? Why do you think this is not common knowledge? It's because this is one of the most powerful, forms of moving from being poor to being rich, from being unsuccessful to being successful, moving through the phases of life, moving through the phases of success and achieving your goals, moving from A to B, moving up the ranks. It requires the skill of selling. And so the powers that be would rather keep the information away from you. Why? Because they don't want you taking their positions. They don't need you disrupting the status quo. So only a select group of people really know how to sell. Only a select group of people believe it's even an important skill to get you from A to B. And so in this video, we're going to break down certain keys to getting anyone to say yes to you anytime and every time. And we're going to go through insights and tactics and ways in which you can sell anything to anyone and get exactly what you want. My name is Pierre Yamfam. This is Get Out of Your Way. And let's figure this one out together. But first, a little bit of accountability. And I just want to say thank you so much for keeping me accountable on this channel. We're on day 13, and I feel like there's no other way but to show up for you guys, right? I feel like it's already being locked in. This daily recording, this showing up every day, waking up 4:30 a.m. It just feels locked in now, right? Because you guys are holding me accountable. So thank you so much. And let's see, did I wake up today at 4:30 a.m.? And what is today's success principle? We're going to get those two things out of the way, and then we're going to deep dive into part 3, the breakdown, where we dissect and go deeper into why selling is so goddamn important. I'll catch you on the other side. Beautiful people. Hey guys, how's it going? Oh my gosh. Day 13. Success principle 13. On the treadmill today for my 2-mile run. Every Monday morning, I go on my 2-mile run. And today, I'm going to be hitting you guys with a pretty game changer success principle that's going to take your year to the next level. So let's jump in. Success principle 13, day 13. Successful people see every challenge in front of them simply as a hurdle. And when I say hurdle, what I mean is they see it as an obstacle that they can jump over. That's how they see every challenge that's in front of them. They don't see it as unovercomable. They don't see it as, hot damn, I can't do this. They see every challenge simply as a hurdle that they will find a way to jump over. And that's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people see every challenge as something they can take on, something they can dominate, and something that they can use to grow and learn and get to the next level. Okay? So this is success principle number 13. When you're faced with a challenge this year, do you see it simply as something you can overcome? Or do you see it as something that's going to stop you? This mindset shift will get you much further this year. Another thing about seeing things as a hurdle is that successful people understand that everyone else, they're probably not going to make it through this hurdle. And so they see these hurdles as qualifiers. They see these hurdles as decision makers and deciders, as separators. These challenges is what separates them from their competition. And they know that. And so when they're faced with a challenge, it motivates them. And it motivates them because they can see, they know, and they understand that this hurdle right here in front of me is going to take some people down. Some people are not going to go and get through this. But guess what? I am going to get through this. And as a result, only a few people are left at the top because they're the ones who found a way to jump over that hurdle. So, success principle 13. See every challenge as a hurdle. Take on the hurdle and leave everyone else to make their own decisions. And I'll see you at the top. Catch you in a bit. Peace. Ooh, that treadmill today. I think it's the sleep. I think it's the lack of sleep. That treadmill was tough today. I don't know if you could hear it in my voice, the panting and the the imminent death that I was under. Like I was struggling a little bit today on that treadmill. But I hope you were able to get the message, which was successful people treat everything like a hurdle, an overcomable hurdle that they will jump over, they will get over, and they also see it as an obstruction that most people won't be able to overcome. And every time they overcome it, they're like, yes, I'm one step closer to where nobody else is. I'm one step closer to my prize, right? So that success principle is super, super strong. And when you do come across a hurdle, please remember it's a hurdle. It's not an insurmountable mountain dropped down by the gods. It's not something that you can't deal with. Every single problem has a solution and every single hurdle can be jumped over. Remember that, okay? Cool. Now this is part 3, the breakdown, okay? And I want to jump into part 3, the breakdown. This topic is dear to my heart. The reason why it's dear to my heart is because for the longest time, this was maybe until I was 25 or 24, I had no regard for this skill set. When I tell you I had no regard, as in it was bad, okay? Me and my business partner, we had a mentor, right? And this mentor, very successful, pioneered some of the, the fingerprint technology in the UK, where you can like scan your finger and then like, get your lunch at school, or scan your finger and, use your finger to like scan stuff. He pioneered, he's a tech entrepreneur, pioneered that technology with his team, multi-millionaire, right? And I messed that relationship up actually. I wish we can get back in touch and keep mentoring, but I messed that relationship up. I wasn't doing too good back in the day. I'm better now. Anyway, the point is that this mentor one day turned around to me and goes, Pierre, you are an incredible salesman. Mother's life, I got offended. I got offended. I was like, oh, I don't really want to be a salesman. No, that's not. No, no. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business builder. I'm a visionary. I don't. No, I'll hire salespeople. I'm not a salesman. That was my idiotic, ridiculous, unbelievably naive. When I say naive, with a triple, quadruple I on the eve, it was bad. It was shockingly. I look back at that statement and I'm like, yeah, you wasn't ready. Dude, you wasn't ready, because if you were, you wouldn't be vibing like that. You wouldn't have said that. You was not ready for success. You wasn't really ready, because his response, I can't remember his exact response. I think he chuckled or he laughed or he was like, everyone should be a salesman. I know for a fact he said something very wise. I probably wasn't listening. But the fact is, that was my response. Okay? Now, right now, as of today's video, I am, in my mind, I am an incredible salesman. When I speak, people move. When I say we're doing X, people do X. When I say no, we're not doing Y, people don't do Y. When I want something, I get it. When I ask for something, I get it. When I step into the room, people are mesmerized by my presence. When I speak to someone, they feel heard. They feel seen. They're like, oh, I want to speak to that Pierre guy. Oh, do you know that Pierre guy? When I'm at an event and I'm speaking, the room is quiet. No one's on their phones. They're interlocked and engaged with my every word. I have them sometimes moving around a little bit to make sure that I got their attention as well. And the point I'm making here is, once you understand the power of selling, oh my God, the world opens up. And that's why they don't teach it in school. At schools, the fact of the matter is that they don't need you disrupting the status quo. They don't need you. What they need is obedient factory workers who are able to follow instructions and not question too much at all, really. That's what they need, right? They need you to do what you've been told to do, and that's what they're training you to do at school, with the rote memorization of countries and presidents and the periodic table and all these things that now ChatGPT can just give us. We'll get to that in another video. But basically, this skill set creates disruptors. This skill set creates curious entrepreneurs. This mindset, this skill set unlocks doors and moves you through phases of success and moves you through phases of life. Being a salesman, saleswoman, salesperson, being a salesperson takes you to the next level every single time when you are a good one. Okay. And we're going to break that down today. So the question we were asking earlier is, what if I told you that the number one skill set on earth that you need to master, forget about everything else for 10 seconds. Okay. Just for 10 seconds. Master how to be a skilled salesperson. And we're going to go through a couple tactics today, and insights that will set you on your journey. Okay, then please go and do more research, because we're only supposed to have 30 minutes on this section, 25 minutes even. And I'm just breaking the rules, and it's because I get excited and passionate. I love this stuff. I love this personal growth stuff. So enough about me. Let's focus on the content for today. All right. So salesman. Now, first things first, I need you to realize that everything is selling. From the age of when you can speak and you are asking your parents for, I don't know, a bike, or you're asking them for a PlayStation, an Xbox, or even you're younger than that, you're asking them for the sweets or the cookies. Every single time you are asking someone of something, you are selling a proposition of which you want them to side with your opinion, side with your desires, wants, You want people to side with you. You are selling a proposition. You are selling a vision of the future. Every single time you ask for something, you are selling. Now, we're going to get into why most people are terrible salespeople. They're terrible salespeople because they're actually selling the wrong thing. And we're going to get into that. Okay, we're going to get into that. However, the way that buying and we're going to get into that practically right now, right? But the way that buying and selling, once you understand that everything is sales, right? You then want to work out, okay, well, if everything is sales, if everything is selling, then don't I need to understand the mechanics of buying and selling? Don't I need to understand sort of how to sell? Don't I need to understand sort of what other people are expecting and what they're looking for if everything is selling, right? And it is. All the way from asking your parents for a bike when you're like 8 years old, 9 years old, all the way through to asking for a promotion, all the way through to pitching your idea to investors on Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, whatever. Anytime you're asking for something, you're making a pitch, you're selling. Now, a foundational mechanic, a foundational concept, the foundation of selling that you need to understand is selling is about, people think selling is about, I've got this product and it has all these features and benefits and you should buy the product for these features and benefits. And our product is better than other people's products. Our product is the best product on the market. Product, right? Service. We give the best massages. We give the best home cleaning service. We give the best service, right? Product, service. Benefit, feature. Attribute. People think this is selling. This is not selling. This is simply informing the individual of what you do. This is not selling. And in selling, you think you're selling, but all you're doing is informing the individual of features and benefits and the attributes of your product or service. That's what you're actually doing. The selling, the true selling, when you are interacting with another individual, you're trying to get a group or an individual to side with your decision, side with your vision of the future. What you're actually selling, which people do not get, and the chances are this is the first time you're hearing this, what you're actually selling is yourself. Foundational rule number 1 of selling: people buy people. People do not buy your product, they do not buy your service, they buy you. Once you have sold them on you and who you are and what you're about, and if they can, keyword, trust, write that down, if they can trust you as an individual, you could be selling ice to a polar bear. The polar bear will still buy your ice because they trust you. So any word after trust is gained, almost any word that comes out of your mouth after that, it's a wrap. People are buying, right? People are buying. Even if the product isn't 100%, even if the product isn't fully finished, they'll buy it from you because they have trust. Case in point is Apple. Apple can release, it doesn't matter what Apple releases anymore. Apple have the level of trust and authority that Apple has built because of their brand values, their brand DNA, how they communicate, what they stand for, their consistency in their branding. Everything that Apple do is so freaking consistent. They've built so much trust. I am a Windows individual, right? I'm Microsoft in terms of what laptop I use, right? I'm a laptop. I'm a Windows guy. The fact of the matter is, I'll say it openly, honestly, Apple's better. Apple is better than Microsoft. Full stop. Everyone knows it. Everybody knows it. The only reason I use Microsoft is because of Apple's closed ecosystem. Back in the day, you could only connect an iPhone to an Apple Mac, and it was very closed with the iTunes, and it was a closed ecosystem. For a tech entrepreneur like me, I like things to be open and connected and all this stuff. Yes, more risk in terms of you're more connected, but I like the openness of the ecosystem. That's the only reason I'm on Windows. But in terms of brand values, what they stand for, everything, I'm an Apple fan through and through, but I just use Microsoft. I use Windows, right? So even to the extent where I don't buy a lot of their products, if they dropped something that was like, that I needed, I'm getting it from them because I trust them. Trust is everything in sales. And people buy people, they don't buy your product or your service. So in terms of when you are pitching and selling a concept, an idea, asking for something, whatever, when you're doing that with another individual, you need to consider how much are you talking about the product and the service, and how much are you connecting with the individual, portraying your values and beliefs, gaining and winning their trust first before you even mention the product or service. What is your balance? What is your weight? Think about the last time you asked something. Think about the last time you sold something. Think about the last time you went for that promotion or that interview or whatever. How much were you selling services and products? What was the balance of that compared to you selling yourself? Okay. And the reason why the trust is needed, the reason why that connection between the individuals is needed, and people buy the person who's selling or the brand that's selling, not the product itself. The reason for that is because buying and selling, the mechanics of buying and selling is emotional. It's not logical, which is what you're doing when you're informing the person of the features, the benefits, the attributes, all this stuff. You're informing them and they are logically understanding that your product can or service can do all these things. They get the logic, but they don't vibe with you. Have you ever had that before? Where it's like, damn, this product is incredible. I just don't like the company. You know what I mean? The shoulders go up, the eyes squint a little bit, you get a little bit of wrinkles in the nose, and it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, something's off. Well, why? What do you mean something's off? Our phone can shoot in 8K resolution, and we can translate phone calls in real time in different languages, and we can, you know, it comes in 2 terabytes now, and you know, all these features are incredible. Why aren't you buying my phone? Well, I don't know, I'm gonna go get an Apple, right? I'm gonna go get a Samsung S24, 25 Ultra. I'm gonna go do that because I trust those brands. I get what they stand for. You're just giving me all these features. Do you see? Do you see the difference? Okay. And so these are the mechanics of selling. These are the foundations that we need to understand. Spend more time on branding yourself rather than pushing the product or the service. Okay. And we can get into examples of what I mean by that. We'll get into some examples now, right? So one of the ways you can influence people, it's almost a little bit like you are storing points or you're gathering points of people. Okay. So for example, one of the ways, so I'll give you an example, and then we'll talk about the philosophy and the mechanics behind it after. So we moved with Finders Force, the app that we're launching. We moved to this brand new office space, right? Shared office space. You also have private offices, amazing community of tech entrepreneurs, startups, that whole vibe. And it was in London, in Canary Wharf, right? Massive building, just the vibe was traveling there from Buckinghamshire on the train every morning was an okay experience. Just traveling there, getting my little Starbucks, you know what I mean, getting into the office, being with the team. It was lush. It was lush. And we're on pause at the moment because we're really just focusing on speaking with clients ready for this launch. But we've got our space, and we're going to be reactivating our space and getting back in there and getting in and around that environment again. So we've got this office space. And on my first day, right? So obviously I'm the leader of the company. I know that everything is selling. I know that making that first impressions are everything. I've got all these success principles in my mind already. So I'm obviously operating on quite a high level. But when I get there, you know, I walk into the building and they're showing me around. They show me, the free food and the free drinks and the tables and the desks and all the stuff, right? Presentations rooms, cubicle rooms, workspace, everything they're showing me, right? I said to them, can we just go back to the free food and free drink section just real quick? So they take me and my team member, they were doing the walk around. They took me and my team member to the shared drink section, to the free drinks and food section. I stood there and I looked at the fridge. Now, in the fridge was 2 types of drinks. There was Coca-Cola in the normal red can, and there was Diet Coke in the silver can. Those were the 2 drinks, and it was stacked. Like the fridge was stacked, like over 400 of each. Like it was massive, right? And I'm looking at this. It wasn't that big. It was like 200 of each, maybe. It wasn't that big. And I look at this fridge, and I turn around to this has got the manager there, the manager of the floor, of the level. We've got the manager there, got one of the employees there that manages us, and startup success managers is there. Like the people are there, right? I look at them, I look back at the fridge, and they're looking at me like there's a little bit of silence. And I'm looking at them, and I look back at the fridge. I said to them, guys, I have a question, very serious question. I said, let me just make sure I understand your business model here in this building. Let me make sure I understand your business model. So what you do is you attract the top entrepreneurs in the country to come and use this office space to work from, right? It's in London, Canary Wharf. It comes with the postcode. It comes with the address, the posting address. It comes with, the community, the network. It comes with all these features and these events and these opportunities, investors. You attract the best talent in the world for these, to gain access to all this stuff, right? They were like, yeah, that's correct. I said, okay, cool. And once we gain access to all this stuff, you want us to come here, work, be on our best game, perform. And then obviously when our startup becomes successful, you then take those case studies, then you broadcast them and market them and say, hey, look, these are the types of success stories that come out of this space, right? That's how you do your circular, what we call circular marketing, right? Someone comes in, you deliver a service, it's a massive success. You take that case study, you throw it out into the ether, and you get more people come in, do the same thing again, throw it out into the ether, and it keeps expanding. This is your business model, just so we're on the same page. They looked at me like I was not crazy, but they looked at me like, whoa, this guy, like, this is my first freaking day, right? They're like, this guy's sharp. Look at me a bit like, whoa, like, yeah, Pierre, like, that's what we do. That's our, like, they looked a little bit naked in front of me. They're like, that's what we, like, damn, like, that's what we do. I'm like, okay, brilliant. So if we're all on the same page, that we need to be, as entrepreneurs, we need to be at the top of our game whilst we are here. Our job is to generate success stories for your business model. If that is why we're here, if that is what we're here to do, how do you expect us to do that when you're feeding us Coke, Coca-Cola, and Diet Coke? People, this was my first day in the building. I had to sack a few people off. I was baffled. I was like, I'm pretty sure I understand your business model. And if that's your business model, your values don't align with your business model. Your business model is very simple, but look at what you're feeding us. This is not the food of elite individuals. This is not the food of top performers. How do you expect us to deliver results for you when you're feeding us artificial sugar and bullcrap? It was not all bullcrap. It's just, let's just say the majority of it wasn't healthy, including the Coca-Cola and the Diet Coke. They looked at me, they started laughing. They were like, oh my God, Pierre, you need to go and speak to the directors. I'm gonna set up a meeting with you and the directors. I'm gonna, right? Listen to that, listen to how they responded. Pierre, bloody heck, they're laughing. I need to set up a meeting. You need to go speak to our directors. That is like, they were what I call mesmerized. They were mesmerized. Now, there are a few different principles and there are a few different philosophies that were used in that moment. Okay. Number one, all I was doing, they don't necessarily know this, and they could be watching this video right now, and that's fine with me because it's all about sharing this knowledge and value and people and enabling people to grow. So I'm completely open and happy to share this, right? They don't know this. All I was doing in that moment was making myself memorable. That's all I was doing. As they were showing me around, I was actively, consciously looking for something to talk about. Number one, when you're selling, when you're making the pitch, you have to stand out and be memorable. Investors get hundreds of decks. How are you memorable? People get sold. I think the number's crazy. I think it's like 600 adverts. Google it for me. I think it's like 600 adverts people see every day. Something, especially in London, something crazy like that. People are being sold to all the time. How are you memorable? I'm sitting here on YouTube. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But what I know is that millions of videos are uploaded every single day. How are my videos being watched? How am I memorable? How do I stand out? How do I captivate and mesmerize? How do I hook? We'll talk about hook in another video, but how do I hook the person I'm speaking to hang on to my every word? You're watching this video now up to this point. We're about 30 minutes in, and you're watching this video still because you're hooked on the story I'm telling. I'm selling myself in this video. I'm selling my ideas. The reason you're still watching, some of you will be nodding your head and be like, this guy's good. He knows what he's talking about. And some of you will be like, this guy's a fool. I'm watching him because he's a fool. And that's okay. We'll somehow get there together. That's okay. But the idea is that you're still watching because I'm mesmerizing. I'm memorable, right? Now, so what I was doing first and foremost is I was looking for an opportunity to be memorable. I've got my team here now. I've got the company here now. We're going to need certain doors to be open for us. We're going to need certain connections and relationships. We're going to need certain favors every now and then. And lo and behold, from that first day that we were there, almost every single thing, 99% of things that we asked for, that were a little bit against the rules, that were a little bit bendy of the rules, we got it like that. No problem. Pierre, sure, no problem. I'll sort that out for you. Pierre, no worries. You can go upstairs to this, boom, 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 bam, downstairs. We don't normally let people, I heard all the time, we don't normally let people but, right? We don't normally let people but, right? All the freaking time. Because when I came, number one, I made myself memorable. Okay? Now, when you make yourself memorable, when you mesmerize an audience, when you mesmerize someone that you're speaking to, what you want to do is you want to build rapport with that person, right? And the number one way, in my experience, the number one way to build rapport with another individual is to make the conversation all about them. That's the strongest way. From my experience, comment in the box below if you've got another way that builds stronger rapport quicker than speaking all about the other person. Okay? And that's the second foundation in my example that I gave you. Notice how the story I was telling them and the problem and solution that I was proposing to them and selling to them, notice how it was all about them. It was their business, their marketing cycle, their success, their growth and expansion. I picked a problem that I noticed in their world, solved it for them by saying we need healthier food and drinks, which will make your business better and expand what you're doing. I made it all about them, highlighted a problem, gave a solution, and made them laugh at the same time. This is borderline mind control. Be careful. Use this only. Disclaimer people, editors, video editors, put disclaimer across the page because this stuff is powerful stuff. Use it for good only. If you don't use it for good, the universe will balance your ass out. You will be balanced out, and repercussions will come. That's what I'm going to say about the matter. Okay, so okay, move to the disclaimer thing now. Okay, so yes, part two. Once you've making yourself memorable is key, because so many people get sold to, right? Once you're memorable, you then want to build rapport. And building rapport requires you, the strongest way I found to build rapport is simply to speak about the other individual. Okay, speak about the other individual. Now, once you've built that rapport and you're speaking about the other individual, basic stuff as well, like remembering names. No need to go too much into this, but just remember names, because people feel seen, heard, and more likely to like you if you just simply remember their name, because it makes them feel important. Okay, so do that as a basic, right? Now, once you've shown interest and you remember their names, you've done the memorability thing, and you're mesmerizing, you're captivating the room, you always, and this is what I mentioned as well, right? You're looking to benefit the other individual before they benefit you, right? This is important. And this is from what we call the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity states that when you give first, you are almost entitled to receive. Okay? So once you give, you're entitled to receive. You are almost making the other person feel obliged that they have to balance the books, because you've done a favor for them, and they can feel it and they know it, and they are more likely to do something for you when you need it in the way that you need it, right? So the law of reciprocity states, always give first, and then know that you're collecting all these points, and you can get back later, and it will come back later. Most of the time, almost 100% of the time, from the same person. Sometimes karma works in a different way and you get it from somewhere else. But the idea is that build reciprocity, the law of reciprocity, build that almost like that favor debt, right? Build that debt with other individuals, because then they're going to feel indebted to help you back. Okay, and there's a few examples I can give of this, but essentially, I want to get on to the next point, because I don't want the video to overrun too long with my stories, because I go a little bit too crazy with the stories. But this one is very crucial to make sure that when you get into a room, when you're making sales, and this is, by the way, I won't give you an example. Okay, I'll give you a very quick example, just so we close off this chapter. So, like, sometimes you go into a shop or a grocery store, and the grocery store are handing out free food. They're actually activating the law of reciprocity within you. You don't even know it. You think it's just free food for you to taste. But what they're actually doing is they're triggering the law of reciprocity, which is, I've given you this free food to try. I want you to either buy this direct food off me, or better enjoy your experience in the store and buy more food in the store. This is an example of that, right? Or you go onto someone's website, and on their website, they give you a free whatever, right? A free whatever. And a free PDF file, a free book, a free, article or white paper. They give that to you so that, you're actually now in debt to them. Like, energetically and psychologically, you're now in debt to that person, because you've taken something and you feel like you want to give something back. Even if you're not conscious of it, in your subconscious and super conscious, you feel now that you want to balance the books and give something back, right? And that's how they then get you into their emailing list, and they'll give you some more free stuff, some more free value. And then eventually you'll buy the thing that they want you to buy, or you'll do the thing that they want you to do, because they've built that debt with you. They've given you so much that it's almost like nothing to give something back to them, which is actually the really key thing that they want in the first place. Okay, that's an example real quick. Now, this last insight, this last key to getting people to do what you want, getting people to say yes, right? You've gone into a room, you're memorable, you've mesmerized, you've made it all about them, you've built rapport. you're really setting the scene up now really, really well, right? What you want to do, one of the final tactics I'm going to give here is, you may have heard like some of the most genius people in the world, some of the most intelligent people in the world. You may have heard them say stuff like, "Oh, I'm just an idiot. I don't really know what I'm doing." In fact, you may have heard me say that in this video and in previous videos, where I'm like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm on YouTube. I've got no clue what I'm doing. I'm just hoping that dot dot dot." You'll notice successful people, especially the ones who are ultra successful, you will notice that they say stuff like, "Oh, it was just luck. I was just very lucky. It was timing. It was timing. I had nothing to do with it. I'm an idiot. I don't really know what I was doing. I just chose that option. I hire very smart people around me. I don't really know what I'm doing. Um, I'm a fool at the best of times. Just sometimes I have moments of brilliance." These "I'm an idiot" statements are a very powerful form of humbling yourself in front of the person that you're selling to, humbling yourself and bringing yourself and being able to relate and being able to make the person feel that you are not like some godly special individual. You are just like them. You, not that they're an idiot, by the way, not like that, but more like, "Oh, you don't think that much of yourself. You're just a common guy or a common girl. You don't think highly of yourself. You're not like on your pedestal or on your high horse." When you implement that principle, when you implement that tactic, what you're doing is you're becoming relatable, and um, you're taking yourself off of this pedestal that even they may have built in their head about you, right? Because of the way you carry yourself, the way you move. In their own head, you're coming off of that pedestal as well. And so what you're doing is you're making yourself come across as human and come across as relatable. Okay? So this is a very powerful tactic, because then when you build that commonality between you and the other person, "Oh, you're human just like me." When you build that commonality, that builds trust, and that trust elicits a sale. Okay? Very, very powerful tactic. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how elite you are, doesn't matter how much you're dominating. When you're around people and when you're selling and when you're selling yourself, take moments in your journey and in your story, because you're already brilliant. You know you're brilliant, right? That's not why you're doing it. You know you're brilliant, and you're going to come across brilliant to the other person. But what you want to do is take moments. I think it's called self-flagellation. Oh, I need to Google that one, because I don't want to use like the completely the wrong words in this video for you guys. For self-flagellation, I've heard it before, means the action of flogging oneself, especially as a form of, oh damn, religious discipline. What the heck is that? One second, let me look at another one. Oh yeah, description 2: excessive criticism of oneself. Yeah, so when you're criticizing yourself, it's like, "Oh, I'm an idiot, I'm a fool." It's called self-flagellation. I heard that word before and it just came to me. I thought, let me use it. But I just want to double check with you guys that's the right word. So self-flagellation. Now, don't go crazy, otherwise they'll sense that it's not natural. They need to believe that you really think that you're not that special. You're not all that. You know what I mean? I'm just here. I'm just a guy trying to start a YouTube channel. I don't really know what I'm doing. See what I did there, right? So self-flagellation. Now, these tactics that I'm telling you, again, they're very powerful. Using them will allow you to, as I mentioned at the beginning, move and get access to opportunities when you're selling yourself, rather than products and services and whatever you want to talk about. Make things about the other person. Sell yourself, sell the trust, right? Build the rapport. These things need to be done. And this is what makes sales flow so easy. This is what's allowed Apple to wipe the floor with most companies, because they got the branding, they got the imagery, they got the trust and the values and what they stand for, and they didn't sway from those core values, and that's what gets them to that position of such an incredible company, right? And you can do exactly the same thing in terms of your own personal brand, your own, and it is a personal brand. It's your own the way that you brand yourself, this is how you get people to say yes every single time. Okay? So speak, just to round up and summarize. You're speaking to someone, be memorable, cut through the noise, make sure you're not the same as everyone else who this person's spoken to. Be memorable. Number two, once you're memorable, mesmerize. Mesmerize. Say something edgy, unique. Give your opinion about something like I did with the Coca-Colas. They told me no one's ever. Forget about the fact it's your first day, which that in itself is crazy. But no one's ever come to us and said anything along the lines of what you just said. That's what they said. They told me no one's ever come and told us about our food and drinks. So immediately I'm imprinted. It's a wrap. It's game over. Now anything that I need from them, I'm memorable. I may not get it just from that stuff, but I'm memorable. Then what did I do? I built rapport. I made it all about them. I made it all about their business, right? So number three, once you're memorable and you cut through the noise, once you've said something, once you've been, edgy, said your own opinion, become mesmerizing, captivating, speaking about whatever it is that they want to talk about, something about them, making it about them, offering them a benefit, finding a solution for one of their problems, speaking about them, build that rapport. That's what you want to do next, right? Be memorable, be mesmerizing, build that rapport, make it all about them, remember their name, make it all about them. And then once you've built that trust, once they feel like they're speaking to a friend, then maybe it's the right time to bring up the product and say, I think this could actually help you even better deal with that problem that you have right there. I'm not here talking about features and benefits too much, but from what we've spoken about for the past 20 minutes, I think I have something that could supercharge that issue. I think I have something for you that could actually change the game. At that point, the person's already sold. They're just waiting for you to tell. Like now, they want to hear features and benefits because you've gone through the trust process. You've gone through the trust phase. Okay, people buy people. Work on yourself. Work on your likability. How likable are you? Be honest. Do you know what I mean? How likable are you as an individual? How comfortable are you speaking to people? Do you make it about yourself or do you make everything about them? Ask deep questions. Ask questions that they may not be normally be asked before. Show them that you care. And over time, when you understand, when you connect all the dots, right, and understand that, oh, if I deeply care about this person, I will know more about them. I can then pitch them the right product from my array of products. I can give them the best thing that will work. They'll then go tell their friends that this works really well. I'll get more sales. I'll get more money. I'll be able to get closer to my goals of what I want to achieve. I can then impact more people, help more people. The world gets better, right? So when you start to connect all the dots, you start to realize that you're not just asking them how was their day for the sake of it. You start to become very attached and very intentful about actually asking how was their day. Because once you do the full connection of all the dots, how their day was becomes very, very important to you. And that's how you escape the fakery of just saying, oh, how was your day? Because that's what Pierre said on day 13 on this YouTube video. I should ask them how their day was and make the conversation all about them. This is not the way. This is fakery. And you need to connect all the dots and work out what is the value in that question. And once you know the value in that question, you can then actually take that value, connect all the dots, and then really ask it with passion because you actually really care now. Do you see? Awesome. So, how to make anyone say yes? This is how we do it, okay? Selling is everything. And that wraps up part 3, the breakdown. And I will catch you for a swift part 4 blueprint where we're going to go through how the calculations work in the identity tracker and how it all adds up at the end of the week, the month, and the year. And tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get access to this document. You're going to be able to use it for yourself. Boy, I'm excited. I'll catch you in part 4, the blueprint. Part 4, the blueprint. Oh, we're getting there. This is document number 2. Okay, document number 2. I'm very, very happy with this document that we're going through because this is the the habit tracker, the identity tracker that crafts your identity throughout the year. It ensures it keeps you accountable, it keeps you on track, it keeps you aligned with your values. This document this is, I would say, top two, maybe top one or top two documents that I use to keep me on level 10. Okay, so today is a very quick part 4 for the blueprint. All we're going to be doing is looking at how the calculations add up at the end of the day, the week, and the month, and then the year. Okay, so let's jump in. So let me zoom in for you guys. Let's jump into the screen share. Sorry. Let me zoom in for you guys as well. Okay, so Sunday. So 2 weeks have gone by so far. Okay, Monday the 6th to Sunday the 19th. 2 weeks have gone by so far. So let's look at, for example, what's my best week? Let me bring my ego into the game a little bit, right? So what was my best week? My best week is the most recent week. So I got 9.5. Okay, today's Monday the 20th, which is over here. Okay, cool. So last week I got 9.5 out of 10. I got 94.7% of all of my ticks. Okay, I got 144 ticks and only 8 was outstanding. So let's look at how the breakdown works in terms of the calculations for each day, week, and then month. So what happens is, if you scroll up to the top, right, at the beginning of the day, you begin doing ticks, right? Maybe you got like 3 or 4 ticks. Remember, we're starting small. We're not starting with all these ticks that I have, because I've been doing this for 3 years, okay? So let's begin with the beginning of the day, and let's say you got 3 or 4 ticks, whatever. Now, when you tick throughout the day, let's talk about, let's say, Friday. When you're ticking throughout the day, what happens is you'll get to the bottom and you've done your ticks for the day. Then what you'll see is you'll see 3 stats. Okay, the green stat is always how many ticks you've done. Yeah, the red stat here, or pinky red stat, is how many ticks you missed, how many habits you missed that day. And then that will generate you a score. Okay, so this score ends up being 9.6 out of 10. And there's a whole formula and code here that you don't need to touch. You never need to touch any of this stuff when I give you the document tomorrow, okay? You don't need to touch any of this stuff. This is all already pre-calculated and pre-coded for you, okay? So all you need to understand is really what the numbers mean, okay? So green is how many ticks you've done, red is how many ticks you missed, and then this number at the bottom here is actually what your score was for that day, and it'll calculate your score always out of 10, okay? So when you go from Monday all the way through to Sunday, that will give you your individual daily scores. Now, underneath that, you then have the weekly summary. So the weekly summary, obviously calculates then all of your ticks that you've done throughout the whole week. So again, from Monday the 13th to Sunday the 19th, it calculates how many ticks and how many you missed. Okay, brilliant. And then again, this time though, you get a percentage as well. So remember, in the daily one, you don't have a percentage here, but in the weekly one, you have a percentage for how much you achieve that week. Here, I got 94.7%. When you summarize, when you calculate that as sort of as a number, it just rounds up to 9.5 out of 10. Okay, so this is how the week looks. So you got the day, which is just here. Straight underneath it, you have the week. That's how the week works. Now, if you zoom out a little bit, we're going to get into the month, okay? Apologies. God damn, cough is getting better though. The cough is getting better, which I'm grateful for. So now we have the month. So as you can see here, we're in January, right? January all the way to the 31st. And we'll get into how to expand and close these things in tomorrow's video. But right now we're viewing January, which is what we need. So as you can see at the bottom here, we have an overall tally for January. Here we have completed. How many ticks have I completed? How many habits have I completed so far this month? 286. How many, and let's just calculate that right to make sure it's right. So if we click on January here, hold down Control or Command for Apple users, hold down Control or Command and click on this one here, you can see down here at the bottom, if you go to sum, it says 286. So if you add those two numbers together, which is what I've done so far this week, 286 is all accurate. It's all adding up good, right? So that's completed. Now, how much is outstanding? Well, we have 332. Let's see if that's calculated correctly. So 14 I missed, plus 8 is outstanding. 179 for this week, 181 for that week. Sum 382. So for this one, let me double check. Okay, so 332 is outstanding. Okay, let me look into this one. Let me look into this one for you guys, because the number outstanding should simply be 14 plus 8 plus this one and this one. So 382, I'm getting a sum of that. So let me double check this code here and make sure this is 100% working correctly from the first. Yeah, let me just double check this code for you guys before I send it tomorrow, because this should perfectly add up. Because at the moment it says 332, which is the correct number, but for some reason these ones aren't adding up correctly. So let me review that for you guys in my own time. Okay, awesome. So this one over the month will show you how much is outstanding over the month. Okay, then just quickly seeing if I can find the issue super quickly for you guys. Okay, no, okay. Yeah, I'll be able to find it. I'll be able to find what the issue is and then get back to you on that. Yeah, let me get back to you on that. Okay, cool. Back to the video. Okay, so completed, outstanding, and then the score. So the score at the moment is around the 46% mark, because obviously I've not finished the entire year, the entire month, right? So that's where I am right now. And when I finish the month, hopefully it'll be higher. And then we have this golden rule. Now, the golden rule is the one habit that you're trying your best. And I'm going to give myself a red box straight away for this one, because I've not been able to follow my calendar perfectly today. And so this is something that I need to, that I'm going to be working on really tough. But basically the golden rule is the most important tick and habit on your entire tracker. This is the one where you're going to give all of your attention. It's the golden rule of the year. You're going to give yourself all of your attention to make sure that you get this tick every day. You will miss days, like for example, my first day, which starts today. Mine is being a cal engineer, so following my calendar, right? A cal engineer, which is this word here. I have not. I'm I know I'm going to struggle with this one. It's one of my toughest ones. Being on time, being 100% on time with everything that I do is really tough. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on this year. Really nailing down on my calendar. And my first day, I didn't achieve that today. So that's already a red box. But this golden rule will calculate how many times you get your golden rule in that month. So as you can see, as I'm ticking, you can see this is changing and this is changing. Okay. So just gonna check this one more time, see if it activated anything. 379, 329, no. Okay, cool. So we'll deal with that later. So does that make sense? So this is how, this is the golden rule, and this is the one that you're going to be tracking throughout the year to see how well you did. So let's untick those real quick. And then, yeah, so that's how each day adds up, each week adds up down here, and then how each month adds up at the bottom. Then let's say, for example, I'm not going to expand this right now, because when I expand this, it just goes through February all the way through to the end of the year, right? So there's no need to expand it right now. The idea will still stick. So we then have at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, you're going to have at the bottom here, we have your yearly summary. So you've got how many ticks you completed here, how many ticks are left outstanding here, and what your percentage is and what your score is, just like normal. Now, remember in yesterday's session when I spoke to you that and told you that sometimes life happens and you're going to end up giving yourself a line, right? When you give yourself a line, what you're saying is something genuinely out of my control happened, and I wasn't able to do that habit that day, and so I'm going to give myself a line rather than a red box. Remember, we spoke about that in our last session. So what we've got here is we've got a simple number here, which actually calculates how many ticks you could have done that year, right? So these are all the ticks at the beginning of the year with no lines added at all. Okay, so you haven't added any lines. The year started, no lines have been added, and this is how many ticks you would have done. And I just added that one in there because it will show how many times when you add up these two together, it will show how many times you've used the line. And that's a really good stat to see. How many times did life happen, right, in that year? So this will also be set up for you. So it will calculate how many boxes there are and how many lines you actually gave yourself. It will calculate that for you here. Okay, so how many boxes did you start with? How many ticks could you have got is what this shows. Then you actually complete them and you have things outstanding. And what you do is you minus this number from these two numbers and it will show you what is left over. And that's how many lines you gave yourself. Okay, so very, very good. This, my friends, is how, and then obviously for every single, let's say for example, yoga, every single habit that you're tracking has the same numbers. So how many you could have got, what is the total number that you could have got, and then how many did you actually complete and how many red boxes did you give yourself, and then what is your score and what is overall. Yeah, what is your score out of 10? So at the end of the year, you will have stats for every single thing you're tracking. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna show you guys how to add more habits if need be. I'm gonna show you guys how to add more habits and gain access to the document. Okay, so you're gonna see how to download it. You're gonna, just like last week, you're gonna see how to download the document, and then you're gonna be able to use the document. I'm gonna show you how to add things and set up your own identity tracker or your own peak performance tracker for 2025. Okay, incredible. So I'm gonna jump straight into this document. I'm gonna find out why the heck is this number not the number that I'm expecting it to be. So I'm expecting this number to be down here at the bottom. I'm expecting it to be 382, but for some reason it's 332. So I'm going to look into that right now and make sure that's fixed for tomorrow's session. Okay. Whew, incredible. What a video. Today, guys, I'm super, super buzzed. Great session. Thank you so much for tuning in. And tomorrow is going to be hopefully an even better session. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you guys. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Pierre Yamfam. This is Get Out of Your Way. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. I really do feel as well that we actually did tackle a super crucial point today about selling. And I really do feel like we figured that one out as well, which I'm really, really happy about. So yeah, let me know in the comments how it went. Let me know what insights you got and if anything's working for you. Let me know if anything shocked you as well about the insights. And I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.